Hey everybody, welcome back to Black Card Rehab. It is a show where we go from zero to black, one episode at a time. I am joined, as always, by my white friend Paige. Hey Paige.
Hello. Hi.
On a scale of 0 to black, how are you feeling
I'm
today?
feeling SPF 100
Oh,
because
yeah.
it is too damn hot for my frail white skin. I am sizzling like a slice of bacon. I'm not built for this weather. I'm just not. I need to be someplace with lots of snow and a lot less sunlight, I think.
Yeah.
I feel
and
like
you ended up here.
I ended up here. I feel like I would thrive in Minnesota. And Crystal, on a scale from 0 to black, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling Della Reese's pinky toe.
Yes!
Ready to retire. Yeah, ready to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
No, but I'm doing okay. It is hot. We are lucky to not be experiencing rolling blackouts like other parts of California right now. So yeah. Everything in my dad's fridge is gone.
We just went grocery shopping yesterday and then got an alert on our phone that's like, you may experience a rolling blackout. And I was like, bitch, you better don't.
Yeah.
I just spent $100 on groceries. Don't you dare.
I love how you slipped in that flex right there. $100 on groceries. Nice.
I mean, there's two people in my household and one of them is a large carpenter.
That's true. And today we are welcoming back a guest. He was with us for another Eddie Murphy movie about vampires. Welcome back to the podcast, Richard Douglas Jones.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. And how are you feeling on a scale of 0 to black today?
Somewhere between Kamala Harris and Jaimin Henson, somewhere in between there.
I really feel like I saw Jaimin Henson at a gas station yesterday. Does he live in LA?
I think he does, yeah.
I'm almost positive I saw him, and I was like, oh, what do I do? Nothing, bitch. You don't know him. Like, I needed to just get back in my car.
No, you should definitely have randomly yelled out, "Give us free!" and see if he turns around and you're like, I knew it was him. I knew it.
I would love to be like the clerk at the gas station when he's like asking for change back. You want your change? Give us free. Then
give us change.
Yeah.
Give us change in all quarters.
Oh, good luck with that these days.
I know ain't no change. Ain't no change.
I just gotta start buying new clothes instead of doing laundry. Shit.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And tell people where they can find you and what stuff you have coming up.
One of the best places you can find me is my weekly podcast, Black Nerd Power. You can find that pretty much anywhere you find podcasts at this point: Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, a couple of different places. You can find us on Facebook. We're the ones with the blue check. You can find us on Instagram at black.nerd.power, and you can find us on Twitter at BNP if you're nasty. My weekly show, open mic or something like it, I do every Thursday on my Facebook Live feed. That's every Thursday at 9:00 Central Standard Time. So yeah, or Central Time, not Standard, whatever. Anyway, that's where you can find me. You can find me on Twitch, also at Black Nerd Power, where I play games and curse like a sailor.
Nice. You're the definition of in these streets.
In these digital streets. That's
right,
it.
Right. So can you introduce the movie that we're going to talk about today?
I am delighted to introduce the movie today. A lot of the cursing that I do on Twitch is probably because of the I watched this movie repeatedly as a child.
There's a lot of cussing in this movie.
There's a lot of cursing in this. So much like there's so much that like you try to watch it like on TNT and you're like, what is the fucking point? What is?
I think my favorite part is that Richard Pryor curses the least.
Yeah,
like that should tell you this. Where this movie is at. Him and Red Fox together curse the least.
And Della Reese, touched by an angel, curses the most. She curses the most. The movie is Harlem Nights. It was released in 1989, and it was written, directed, and executively produced by Eddie Murphy. I believe this was his first time directing, and it's very much a passing of the torch movie, because in this movie you not only see Eddie Murphy, but you see the comedy greats that are Robin Harris, Richard Pryor, and Red Fox. They are all in this movie, as well as Eddie's best friend Arsenio Hall.
And his brother Charlie Murphy.
Oh yes, this is Charlie's. Yeah, it's Charlie's first movie. First movie for Charlie Murphy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely hilarious. It takes place during what most people would be consider the Harlem Renaissance in Harlem, and it's about this man by the name of Ray, who called Sugar Ray, who runs an after-hours spot, and with his friend Benny and his stepson Vernest, aka Quick. And they have ruffled the wrong feathers, and they have to decide how to deal with it. And are they going to stay and fight, or are they going to try to get out of town? And that's part of the charm of the movie is how they get over on the gangsters and pull. Basically, it's a caper movie. That's what they do. You get to watch them, live in that world and then pull off that caper.
Yeah, so I love that we're talking about this movie on the heels of a couple of things. One, we just did an episode a little while back about Dolomite Is My Name. So
love that movie.
It's such a great movie.
It's so good.
We loved it.
As a comic, it's such a great like. The director Craig Brewer is from Memphis. He's a friend, and so like I got to see like as he was shooting it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got a chance to see it. Like he showed me this like 2 years ago when they first shot. He showed me the dailies of Eddie doing Signifying Monkey for the first time, and I'm going along with it. And when I was done, I looked at him. I was like, "This is." You got something here. And he's like, I was like, dude, this is fucking amazing.
And the thing is that Dolomite in My Name is it's so packed with like the Black comics of that time, right?
Yeah.
So it's just fascinating to see that this is a thing that he just continues to do, is like put Black comics on in these movies. Like, yeah. And like, and even in the other one that we watched, like there were tons of Black comics in that one as well.
Black Dynamite,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. No, but I'm talking about the vampire one. Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Brooklyn, yeah.
Vampire in Brooklyn, like
ahoy, motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Yeah, John Witherspoon. Yeah.
John Witherspoon. But yeah, this one, Red Fox. Who else did you say with the comics?
Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Robin Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Della Reese from Touched by Nature. Arsenio Hall.
Yeah, Arsenio Hall.
Yes, Arsenio Hall. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A pre-Martin Thomas Michael Ford.
Mm-hmm. And this is the other thing that it's on the heels of too, is that we've been running a Kickstarter campaign, putting together a bunch of short comic book stories, all Black noir stories. And again, this movie is Black noir, and so people are kind of wondering what that is. This is kind of a good entry if you want to watch a movie about that. And also, thank you to everybody who has supported the Kickstarter. We have passed our goal.
Yay!
So yeah, we're now in stretch goals, and it's very exciting. So that the book is for sure going to happen. So thank you to everyone who got the word out and supported us so far on that. But let's get back to Harlem Nights. Okay, so I want to know. You said you watched this when you were a child.
Oh yeah.
What? How old were you?
Let's see. If it came out in '89, God, I had to. Don't make me do math.
Yeah. But like, were you
like 11,
a teenager?
like
Okay.
11, 12, 13?
Like,
yeah.
And on your own, like, or were you with family?
No, God,
or...
no. I watched it with family. No, yeah. Yeah,
Home
no,
Alone, like I'm gonna shoot Jasmine Guy in the face.
Yeah,
yes.
no, I remember, you get together for like Thanksgiving, and like you like after you eat food, you don't want to do anything, so you sit and watch a movie. So yeah, we probably watched Harlem Nights at like Thanksgiving or something. God, yeah, absolutely. I shouldn't have, and don't really care. But to this day, it's still like me and one of my dad's favorite movies. Like, oh, you gonna shoot me in my pinky toe, huh? Okay, here it is.
How many times have you seen this movie?
I've lost count. I've lost count of how many times I've watched Harlem Nights. Because for me, it's very much a litmus test. Like if I show it to people. And I'm just like, if you don't laugh at this movie, we can't be fucking friends. Like we can't, we cannot be friends. Like, nah.
I think right out of the gate, one of the things that made me laugh out loud is when he described the mobster as a 12 sandwich eating motherfucker.
Yes!
I was like, wait, what?
Oh my God!
There's a similar one in his fight with Della Reese that was like 9 something.
You gonna be the 9-toe having? You gonna be the 9-toe havingest? You don't have to write shit down. I can tell you. He said you gonna be the 9-toe havingest, limpingest bitch in Harlem. I will shoot that rusty, crusted, gnawed up motherfucker the fuck off your foot.
Yes. Those were the two that I was just like, I get it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
But the 12 sandwich eating motherfucker really
this big
got
fat
me immediately.
stank bloated 12 sandwich eating greasy bastard.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm by heart. Word for word. For me, it starts off on such a high note comedically, and just throughout the whole thing, it just goes. It's just like, well, where your mama? She dead. Where your dad? He dead. Did you kill him? No, they just dead.
Yeah. So this is what I thought. I mean, the thing is that I felt like it really feels like it's Eddie Murphy wanting it to be taken seriously and to have this genre and Black actors to be taken seriously. So it's actually like on the more serious side compared to like a lot of the other movies we've seen him in. But again, I feel the same way that I felt about Vampire in Brooklyn, whereas like the comedy parts of this, like they nail it for me. Like when it comes to the comedy part, and I would say the movie is very long. So my question to you is, when you watch this movie, do you watch it all the way through every time? It's 2 hours.
Nah, I'm
okay.
If I'm showing it,
and then
if I'm showing it to someone else, then I'll watch it all the way through. But just occasionally. You just
pick out your spots.
Just occasionally, I go to the when I'm feeling low, I just go to the scene where you don't accuse me of stealing.
We going
That's
outside.
so good.
We going outside. Ain't gonna be no hard feelings.
Yes.
This movie cured me of my like naivete like really quick within the first 20 minutes, because the first thing was I did not expect him to actually shoot a woman.
Yes. Well, and then he does it again later where like I watched it happen the second time. I was like, I'm sorry, did that hold on, and I rewound it to be like, no, he did shoot her. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He does in fact kill Miss Dominique LaRue. He kills her.
Yeah.
He also punches Della Reese in the face.
Yes,
repeatedly.
he does.
Repeatedly.
And then I don't know why, I don't know where my head was at, but like when they were talking about the club and like, they've got the gambling and then they got the girls and the girls came up short. For a good while, I was like, I didn't get what the girls were. I was like, okay, they've got girls working the club. And then somebody was like, the gambling and the fucking and the something else. And I was like, that kind of girl.
Yeah. House of ill repute.
That's right.
It just
Vera,
it just didn't hit my ear that way.
Yeah, Vera was the madam. Yes, she was.
I did like that she's wearing almost the exact same outfit, completely different eras, exact same outfit as the madam in Black Dynamite. Like they have the same accessories.
I'm sure that had very much.
I'm sure it influenced.
Yeah, it influenced it. Yeah, but yeah, I got to stay up there till the last trick is gone. I'm
not gonna roll him out of bed to come count your shit. Yes,
right.
Very funny.
Now there is what I'm going to call a babushka in this movie.
Okay.
Yes, which
is
Russian
grandmother.
Yes, like isn't that what you call it? That like
a Russian doll.
A Russian doll. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a thing within a thing within a thing. Yeah.
A thing within a thing. Okay, so the character Tommy.
Yes.
Tommy Smalls.
Yes.
His actual name is Tommy.
Yeah.
What?
And then he
plays Tommy
on Martin. Yeah.
And in the movie, they call him also an Uncle Tom.
Wow, that was deep. That was real deep.
I was like, why?
That was as deep as like a Jet magazine. That's how deep.
Beauty of the week.
That was.
Okay, so when you rewatch segments of this movie, what are those segments besides, the one you just mentioned?
I love that scene. There's so many. Okay, I love the scene in the beginning. The beginning is great. If I want the most motherfuckers for my bang for my motherfucking buck, then of course I watch the scenes with Red Fox and the dice.
Oh my god, his glasses! Can we talk about his glasses?
God.
Those are like 2 inches thick,
right.
and he's got them like down on his nose so that when he tips
I'm sorry.
his head up, his eyes are gigantic.
I'm sorry, I got something in my eye. Well, get it the fuck out, you blind motherfucker, and call the goddamn dice. Ain't gonna be too many more motherfuckers. That's. I watched that scene, of course. Most of the scenes in the club, I love. The scene with the boxer is great. Mm-hmm. The scene,
the stuttering boxer.
Yeah,
I had kind of a weird thing with the boxer because I kept thinking it was strange to me that Richard Pryor's name was Sugar Ray because I kept thinking of Sugar Ray Leonard, and I was just like, oh, but there's also a boxer in this. That's not that. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Hey, Sugar Ray.
You notice that he stutters over most every words. Besides, the only word he doesn't stutter over is the word nigga.
Yeah,
he can say that very clearly.
he says, "Come on, babies." He says that pretty clearly. And then when Danny Aiello is giving him shit, he makes sure that he says yes, sir, as clearly as he can.
Yeah.
Let's see. The other scenes, again, they're just little jokes that I like when he goes back and tells Ray that he killed Dominique, and he was like, damn, was it that good? And he's like, nah, I killed her. He's like, damn, was it that bad?
Yeah, Jasmine Guy's in this movie, and Jasmine Guy, the moments that they have where they frame her just a look, like it's so funny because
it's so frosted and like Rita Hayworth looking. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like they're really going for that, but also like the way she delivers her lines in this, like I don't know where she was at in her career. I was like, it sounds like if a robot programmed another robot to seduce someone. Like,
well, in all fairness, conservatively, half of her lines are her letting people in and out of doorways, where she's always just like, come in, won't you? Like, that's half of her script.
To me, it feels like it feels very much like a style choice. I think she was very much channeling the actresses of that day, like the early Hollywood starlets. That's what it feels like she was channeling for sure.
I was confused and questioning the amount of times they accuse her of potentially using voodoo, and then it never comes up, but they're just like, that voodoo bitch, like,
right,
she's gonna get you.
Put a root on you. What do you mean put a root? What the hell?
Yeah, I heard about this one guy who had a spell. His dick was this tiny as
right.
Oh man.
But and then the one of the other scenes that I like is when they're at the house. And Ray is like, you need to go talk to her. You need to apologize. And like you see like that Vera and Quick really do have like this sort of like maternal son, mother-son relationship. Cause I just love that little boy. And it's just like, wow. And then even within that scene, her and Benny going back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Got my mouth all set from orange juice. Ain't nothing but a swallow left in the glass. That's one of my dad's favorites.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard Black people say that and didn't realize that they were quoting anything. It just makes sense. The phrase makes sense. Got my mouth all set for some orange juice. It just
ain't but a swallow left in the glass.
That I'm just would like to point out that bread was thick as fuck.
It was.
The bread that she was making that sandwich. I was like, who's gonna bite into that?
It was Texas toast level, but it was like thicker. Like Texas toast kind of smushes down, but that looked like when I make sourdough, that's the level of like thickness that we're looking at.
It was.
And she's got 2 slices of it.
That's that depression level bread. That's what that was.
There you go.
They were like, if we don't eat these thick ass slices, we might starve.
Fun fact, only because we had to do a whole episode on bread on another show. This is only a few decades after bread making was automated, so this would have been some of the first store-bought bread that you could have, and it would have naturally been a little bit thicker, just because it is kind of they hadn't quite figured out slicing bread yet super well, and all of their bread was mostly square and jet puffed. Yeah. So there might be a reason, like it might just be so authentic, it's crazy.
Well, that's what I was wondering because, there's that phrase, it's like the best thing since sliced bread. And like, and there is a comic who has a joke about that, like, because he rides a roller coaster that like was created the year before sliced bread was made.
And
he's like, that's not good. You shouldn't be advertising this fact.
Well, bread was not necessarily something like you could go to a baker potentially if you had one near to you. But like if you went to a grocery store, you couldn't just buy bread off the shelves until like 1918-ish. So, and this is only within the movie about 15 years after that. So just bread in general would be kind of new. Imagine in their world, bread is our kombucha. Like, had you heard of kombucha 10 years ago? No.
Sure. I would like to talk about one of my favorite scenes, which actually is completely unnecessary to the plot, in my opinion, but I'm so happy it's in there, and it's everything Arsenio Hall does.
When he is crying in the back of that car, I was like, he's lost his brother, and I can't stop laughing about it.
And crying with an Uzi, like that is the funniest. That is the funniest.
I love it. I think funny. Arsenio was like, if he ain't gonna put me in one scene in this movie, because that's his boy. That's his boy, and it's just like, you ain't gonna put me in but one scene in this movie. Okay, one scene, nigga. I got you. Okay.
I felt like they must have put fake tears on him because his face is
they did.
So wet.
So wet. And it's such a funny, like it just keeps getting better because when they're shooting him and they've got like automatic weapons, but then the driver has just like the pistol. And he's just like every 30 shots they have, pew, pew. It's so funny.
My favorite was as Arsenio Hall, I guess we think dies, assuming dies. Right before he collapses down on the street, he's just like, asshole. And then
He dies and farts. That's the
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, no, he
that's
farts.
So funny.
Asshole.
Yeah, I love that. And he doesn't even have a name credited in this. He's credited as Crying Man. Literally. If you look on IMDb, he's credited as Crying Man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he could have given him a name because he was clearly this dude's brother. You know, like he could have been called Tommy's brother. Just...
Or the comedy of it where they hit the brakes and they hits the trigger and they you know.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and it shoots the friend in the front seat. Yes, that was so great.
Quick.
What was your favorite scene?
Oh, the fight with Della Reese in the beginning. That it sets the tone for the movie. It goes on way longer than you expect it to, but that makes it even funnier. For me, it was one of those jokes where like it just keeps heightening and heightening and heightening and heightening, and then he shoots her toe off, and you're just like, that's not where I expected this to end.
At all, ever.
And her just the things she says to him, she is just the meanest, filthiest, and I was just like, I'm here for this. I can never watch Touched by an Angel again, and I don't care.
That's why that's why most black people couldn't get down with that show. They're like, don't nobody buy you as a saint, nigga. Like, we saw Harlem Nights, bro. What are you talking about? You was just talking about throwing pussy up in the air. What?
Oh, that's so. Oh my God, she did say that. Pussy's good if you throw it up in the air. Turn to sunshine.
That's right. That was a young Leela Rashawn.
Oh yeah, Leela Rashawn. Okay, so when is Leela Rashawn gonna get a good man? I mean, from Waiting to Exhale. Oh, poor thing.
I know this. I mean, like between this and Waiting to Exhale, her whole life is just a man in a full leather outfit throwing oranges at her.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Terrible. Poor Leela Rashawn. Eddie Murphy talking about a jacked up feet.
Oh.
Sunshine converted him to Baptist. What'd he say? I ain't never heard no pussy good enough to make a man change gods.
What do we think of the white people in this movie?
They're exactly what they're supposed to be. They're
I'm gonna say this is the most mild-mannered mod boss I've ever seen. Like, when he put his hand down on that piano and he just slammed it into the piano, I was like, oh, that's all he's gonna do? Oh, you've got a nice boss. Like, he's just calmly like, why don't you go kill him, please? Thank you.
Yeah, Danny Aiello's pretty on brand. That's about what we're used to from Danny Aiello. It's like, occasional N-bombs and random yelling. Yep, that's Danny Aiello all day.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nah, he was great.
Was there anybody, I was trying to think, was there anybody in this movie that was white that wasn't a cop? Like, or a
mob boss?
Yeah,
no.
mob boss.
No, it's just one crooked cop, two cops that we don't learn enough about to know if they're crooked or not, and then a mob boss.
And the bag man.
Oh, and the bagman. You're right.
You know what?
Who looks too much like the detective. So for a hot minute, I was like, are they?
Did they?
No.
Did they give a line at all to a white woman in this movie?
Oh no. I don't even think there is. Is there a white woman?
I think they are dancing at the pity whatever what his club is called. The mob boss he has a club. What is it called?
Yeah.
The Pity Pat or something like that.
Something like that.
They're there dancing, but a white woman does not speak in this entire movie.
No, not that I saw. I don't think.
What? Wow.
I'll tell you what, didn't miss it.
Paige said it. Paige said it.
Paige said it
Waiting to Exhale, where the only line a white woman says is, "Sir, I have those reports," and then she just gets slapped clean across the face.
Get away from me, bitch.
Here's my question to you, Richard, because I know you love this movie so much. Are you able to look at this as a fan of movies overall, or do you just see this as like, this is my favorite movie, like don't nobody talk shit about it?
I'm able to look at it as a fan of movies overall, because normally I kind of hate everything.
Yeah. What is your critique of this?
It could stand to be about a half an hour shorter.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
It could stand to be about a half an hour shorter. I didn't like that they just ran. I wanted them to fight more.
Like they left town. Like that's how it resolved, is them leaving. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if they were going to leave town, show them setting up where they were wherever they landed, wherever they were going to set up. If they were going to go down to like run a spot down in like New Orleans or whatever, show that I would have liked some sort of epilogue in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really don't have a whole lot of critiques about it, because like basically this was just fan fiction. That's all it was. And so in that regard, like you said, it was black noir fan fiction. So in that regard, he as far as we know, he stayed, as true to the period as he could. And then just joke after joke after joke. It all of the comedy beats hit really well. There's not only are there big jokes, but there's little subtle jokes in there, a la like in Coming to America, when he tells her to bark like a dog, and he breaks the fourth wall and does a take to the audience. Just those kind of little joke nuggets that are littered kind of throughout the movie. But yeah, if I had to, like I said, if I had to do anything, make it about a half hour shorter.
Yeah. Because the thing is that this movie was like criticized so heavily. Do you think that has mostly to do with the fact that people were really expecting a hard comedy rather than something as serious as this is?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen because, first of all, this is the first time that Eddie Murphy is both writing and directing a movie. So it's gonna be under that lens, because again, this is 1989. This is Eddie Murphy is on top of the world. So as such, haters are gonna hate. The sharks are coming. The sharks are swimming, and they're looking for this guy to kind of fail. So yeah, I absolutely believe the criticism was going to be harsh, and they were going to look at it. Yeah, because it's Eddie Murphy, they were expecting something way more upbeat, way more slapsticky. Which is weird, because by this point he had done Beverly Hills Cop and 48 Hours and all that other stuff. So the action comedy that, I don't know. Yeah, it should have been. I think people wanted it to be bigger and rely a little bit more on physicality than it did, because there's a lot of talking heads in this movie. That's really what it is, and it's not action driven comedy like some of his other stuff is.
Yeah, I'm curious, Paige, what are your thoughts as a film nerd?
I agree. The thing that I think got to me was the length. And I do think you're right. I think people were expecting more of kind of a bombastic physical comedy, and what they got was almost what we would probably call a dramedy today, where it is a serious, noir. It is a serious caper movie, and those comedic moments are smaller and conversational. And then you have one or two scenes like the one with Della Reese where it's absurd, it's off the wall, and it's we're spending some real time there. And I feel like that's where that 30 minutes of time is like best used, as far as like time I would pull out of the movie. I feel like there's a lot of other conversations in the movie that go on for a long time, that don't further the plot a ton and don't have a ton of jokes. That's what I would cut. And I feel like those are the scenes that if you pulled them out, you would be left with like a 90-minute movie that is tight and hilarious. I think people probably expected the equivalent of like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit as far as like a goofy noir.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sure.
what they got was a much smarter noir that doesn't, in a way, it's almost like you struggle to place it in your mind as you're watching it, where there's not really much else like it. And that's not a bad thing. It just, when people don't have that context, I think it makes it a little bit difficult for them to immediately jump into this movie. As opposed to if it had been kind of more goofy.
Right. And I think the interesting thing is you know, so like the events in this are like obviously not historical, but they are loosely based on historical facts, which are that there were black clubs that were like pushed out by other people that just like colluded with cops and got black clubs shut down, right?
With
right.
the Italian mob, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know, like who's going to do that story? I mean, it's kind of like, in some ways, like people being shown a version of history that is very real, and they probably didn't realize existed, and they, you know, that it even happened. Like you know, the thing with Watchmen, you know, the series starting off with the Tulsa bombings, right? Again, you have writers and people in the entertainment industry presenting people with like a thing that actually happened, right? And there's some aspect of which you can't make all of that funny. You can show the funny moments, you can, you know, make comedy in some of that, but some of that you have to show the real dirt that was done so that people know.
This kind of reminded me a little bit of the movie Suicide Squad. Hear me out.
Okay.
So when I saw the movie Suicide Squad, it was very clearly two different movies trying to exist in the same movie. We had a kind of more straightforward, you know, superhero movie, nothing really special about it. But then we had elements of almost like a gritty Tarantino-esque superhero movie. And what we really kind of needed was one or the other. Either it needed to be all of this in gritty, violent insanity, or it just needed to be a straightforward superhero movie that was going to do okay, but not amazing. And I think we kind of see the same with this movie, where we have a very compelling story from a dramatic standpoint, where I am all here for a hard, gritty crime drama about black clubs being pushed out by the Italian mob. That is inherently exciting and dramatic and interesting to watch. And then on the other hand, we've got comedic actors being funny in a situation that is inherently kind of serious. And I feel like people probably left this movie either wanting a full-blown comedy or wishing they could just watch the drama version of this movie. And I think that's kind of the trickiness with it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Favorite character for everybody. Favorite characters in this movie.
God,
I know it's Della. Is it Della?
Well, no, I actually
No?
really liked Benny. I thought Benny was really funny.
Yeah, that's mine. If I got to pick one, Benny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is the parrot who calls Della Reese a fat bitch.
I didn't think of that as an option. But you're absolutely right.
Fat bitch.
Oh. Every time I see parrots like that in movies, it reminds me of I saw the most Caucasian thing on TV one time, where this couple was getting married and they hired a macaw to greet people as they came into the wedding, where there was just a bird at the front of the church that was like, "Welcome." And I was like, why'd you pay $15,000 for this or whatever?
Because I can.
But oh yeah, the bird chewed on the scenery, stole every scene. So good.
Also, I do agree, kids do bring bad luck.
I almost wondered if he had specifically like I'm gonna make this kid stay. Like, I'm gonna definitely get my money. And then it was not necessarily that, but I was like, that would have been funny too.
I also felt like there was so many, like there were so many insults towards fat people in this that I was just like, when he made the Nutty Professor, was that penance or like I've got more in me? Like I've got more of these jokes. I got more of these 12 sandwich jokes to lay on these people.
I don't know, because he does, he does 2 Nutty Professors and then he does Norbit. So
that's true.
Like fat people, there's always more to love.
Yeah. What is a scene or line that you wish you had come up with?
The 9-toe bitch for me. That's the one that I'm like, I would have never thought of that, and for that I will never be as good as Eddie Murphy ever.
My absolute favorite line is from Benny when he said, "Ain't gonna be too many more motherfuckers." That one. That one gets me every single time. It's just every time. It just it's just the timing on it and everything. Just and then the visuals of it with the glasses and he's looking at, "I ain't gonna be too many more motherfuckers."
It is the exact perfect camera angle to see straight up those glasses.
Yeah.
Where his eyes are just like huge in his face. And I'm sure he probably like opened them a little wider to make it even funnier, but oh man, such a crazy look.
You can tell he had a ball. That was actually his last movie.
Yeah. I love the scene where, the option is you discover this guy who's just been shot 3 times and just leave, run out of the room. Or I could tell him, I think I'm going to leave and let you have some space. Think about who you made mad. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
All right, let's review this movie. So, actually we forgot to give our like final review of Black is King. Which everybody knows.
Picks,
okay, yeah, we give it 5 hair. Okay, so but we always do it out of 5 hair picks. So Richard, I'm going to ask you first. What do you give this movie out of 5 hair picks?
Out of 5 hair picks, I'm giving it a 5.
Yeah, I figured. Okay, Paige, you?
I'm going to be more around a 3.5, just because I love both halves of this movie. I want a whole movie of each half, if that makes sense. With the same people, that's totally fine. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm the same. I'm about a 3.5, 4. I, especially after watching Dolomite Is My Name, I'm so concerned with / obsessed with Black people making a thing out of love. And this is clearly, to me, like, whether people liked it or not, it's clearly something that was made out of love by Eddie
for sure.
Murphy.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you can just see it
too. Yeah.
Yeah. And as a platform for all of his friends to like make money and like, be on screen in a way that you would never or hadn't seen Black people on screen. Like, when do you get to see Black people on screen with guns and like looking fly? You know what I mean? Like, they look fly as fuck. So like fashion wise, this gets a 5 out of 5 hair picks for me. Yeah.
Fashion and set design, this gets 5 hair picks for sure. It's beautifully shot.
And he's legitimately paying homage to his, masters, as it were. Yeah. Like, those are the two. There wouldn't be an Eddie Murphy if it wasn't for Red Fox and Richard Pryor, and he knows it. And so, this is very much his way of giving them their props, giving them their flowers, as it were.
Right.
Because, like I said, this would end up being Red Fox's last movie, and in the middle of production, this is when Pryor's MS first starts to kind of set in. Like, there are all kind of stories about how to kind of keep it together. Richard Pryor would have to hold like a big lighter in his hand to kind of keep his hand from shaking. And right before they'd roll, Eddie's like, "You got it, Rich. You got to get that out of your hand."
Yeah, that's fascinating. I didn't know that. I mean, it, it's so great to see what he did in this particular movie, because I mean, the thing is that I don't even know if this particular genre, or like, you know, like cops and robbers type thing, even is my thing. If I were going to recommend anybody watch a movie that is like that, I would say watch this movie, because I would rather people watch Black people, you know, and watch the, you know, and watch like Eddie Murphy and all these amazing actors like tell this story than another one that is like a dime a dozen.
Yeah,
Like this
agreed.
felt unique. I mean, like definitely I will be watching some of these scenes over again, because it's so funny, and I know I missed stuff on the first round. So I'm going to like best of highlights. I'm really glad you recommended this. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm always a fan of going back and exploring the time period that introduced the word honky into our lexicon. I'm always.
And where did Jigs go? Because
where did Jigs go? Jigs is a good one, but yeah, honky's a good one too. Oh my goodness. Do you know about the etymology of that word, Paige?
I do not. Glad to hear it. It's one of my favorite white slurs.
All right, so here's where that comes from. Honky, the term honky comes from around this time in like the Harlem Renaissance, where white men would go and patronize black brothels, but instead of coming up to the door and ringing the bell like a proper gentleman, they would sit in their cars and honk their horns, and the madam would send a girl out to them. So
that's
thus,
annoying as hell.
Honkies.
So they're scrubs.
Yeah, they are scrubs. I have neighbors who will like honk to get their kids down to the car to go to school in the morning, and it drives, well, not anymore because they don't go, but you know, back before coronavirus, it used to drive me insane. So this just explains my general level of annoyance with most white people, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
I feel like I need to watch it again, and I feel like I will catch more the second time around, because I do think it is one of those movies where the first time through you're really trying to kind of track the story, and once you know what the story is, you can kind of relax into those longer conversational scenes where I'm sure there are like gems of stuff that you missed the first time around.
Yeah.
There, the scene between Benny and Vera where they're yelling back and forth in the kitchen is again just one of those little nuggets. It's like, well, ain't no hash and eggs in here. It's just tuna fish. You want me to make some tuna fish? If you don't mind, it's
Let's see, Paige, do you have anything coming up this week?
So this week I'm on Cult Podcast as usual, but this comes out on Wednesday. This coming Monday I am also on Horror Virgin, and the week after we are launching Romancing the Pod, the new show where we watch romantic comedies and comment on them. So you can check all that out on most of my social media at Paige Wesley on Twitter or at Rampage Wesley on Instagram.
Nice.
Put Sprung on that list.
Sprung? Oh, the romantic comedy?
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm gonna make them. Crystal, you have to come on. You have to come on so I can make these white boys watch Waiting to Exhale. It'll be great.
Is Waiting to Exhale a romantic comedy?
Yeah. I feel like any movie where Angela Bassett is burning up a car is that qualifies.
That movie is both great and hilarious. We enjoyed it immensely.
I still long for a cinematic delivery as good as Angela Bassett's Get Your Shit.
Yeah. Yes. Which I never realized until I finally watched it that is delivered to a closet.
Yes.
There is not a person in that scene.
That whole monologue is amazing. Like, if people aren't doing that at auditions, then I don't know what, because it's so good.
All right. Well, this has been very fun. And thank you so much. You guys follow Richard Douglas Jones, watch the show, heckle him on Twitch.
Do that.
Yeah, and we'll be black next time.